Today I would like to have a little conversation about gold mines and smuggling contraband from California to Arizona. These are pictures right here of a gold mine. Now this is right outside of Oatman, Arizona. Now Route 66 goes right past this mine. And here we have, it's called Gold Road mine. Now this mine was shut down for probably 40, 50 years, and then when the price of gold shot back up, they opened the mine back up. Not really sure if that's a shaft going down or not, but later on I'm going to show you some of the old shafts, and we're going to be talking to a local who's actually been down in these shafts. I think it's going to be a pretty interesting conversation. So here we go. This is the gold mine right here. The workers' trucks. And when I talked about smuggling contraband, that was sort of a weird thing that happened. While I was here, I saw this semi truck come up this road. Now semi trucks are not allowed on this road. I'll show you some of these hairpin curves later. I mean, this road is not set up for trucks. And a semi-truck came through here. We'll talk about that later. Looks like an old car that crashed down over the hill many, many years ago. So again, we're outside of Oatman, Arizona. If you've never been to Oatman, Arizona, that's a trip also. They got wild burros all through the town. I'll make a video on that later on Oatman, Arizona. I filmed when I was driving through there with all the tourists and the wild burros. We'll get into that later. Now here's a better view of the gold mine down there, all the equipment. Now, like I said, this gold mine was shut down for a few years, about 40, 50 years. Now, the local man told me that there's a very big vein that goes right down there where all the cars were at the gold mine office. This shaft or this gold vein runs very rich. It's a very rich gold vein, and it runs deep, and it goes all the way through this hill. I'm going to show you some better pictures later, and as I said, we're going to have a little interview with the local man. Okay, so first, before we get to the interviews, notice how slow that car is driving. Now they have hairpin curves on this road. You cannot go more than 5 miles per hour. Semi-trucks are not allowed on this road. So there's the gold mine. Before we get to the interview, I want to talk about some of the homesteads that are all over these mountains. This was one I saw. It's evidence of the miners used to live here. They used to build these rock walls, and they put their shacks and their homestead. They built them right there in the mountains, right where they were doing their gold mining. Now, the man I talked to said there's probably at least 2,500 old mine shafts scattered throughout this mountain here. Again, the miners would build these rock walls, and I tell you, if you like rock walls, this is the place to be. These walls go back over 100 years. So anyhow, there's 2,500 old shafts scattered through these hills. The man I talked to has been to at least 50 of them, but he was born and raised in the area. So how cool is this rock wall? Unbelievable. Can you imagine bringing your metal detector up here and doing a little metal detecting? The treasure hunters, Lord knows what they'll find. Where that fence is right there?
Yeah.
That's a gold mine?
I remember when that metal plating wasn't there.
So you drop down over there.
Oh, you drop down like over 25 stories.
25 stories over there.
Yeah, got ladders in there like this.
Wow.
And probably about 3 or 4 stories in, you could go down and there was a tunnel that went up. I've rappelled down in this one too.
So it goes down 25 stories.
That's as far as I've ever made it.
And then
I don't know how many stories it goes.
And it actually goes into this side of the hill too.
Yeah. Well, if you go around on the other side of this, not this, that mountain right there.
Right.
They got what you call it, not strip mining, but it's vein mine.
Vein mine on the other side?
If you get out and walk up the side of the mountain, like right here, about probably 200 yards up, you can actually go up inside the strip mine.
Okay, sorry about the sound quality on that last clip. My one camera has a really bad microphone. Now we're going to have many more interviews with that man later. Now here's the steps to the homestead. The old miner made some homesteads. Now here's another homestead down over the road. So what we're going to do is I'm going to have more on the local guy. The local guy is going to talk about going down in these shafts later. But first I'm going to climb up the hill and we're going to look in one of the shafts that he actually rappelled down when he was a young man, when he was in his 18, 19 years old. He rappelled down the shaft, and we're going to go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and walk up the hill here. So bear with me as I walk up the hill. Try walking up this hill holding an iPad. So here comes the smuggler in his semi-trailer. More on him later. So here's one of the old gold mining shafts that go down over 30 stories. Can you believe that guy? I mean, he's got some cojones. I mean, he's taking that rig on, there'll be hairpin turns that a car has to go 5 miles per hour on. Unbelievable. Now, okay, one more picture of this shaft. Now, later, when the local guy says he rappelled down this shaft with rope, this is the one he's talking about. Just to give you an idea about this road. Now, I was not able to get the really, really tight curves. Obviously, I was not able to film them. But I'm just going to show you some of these tight curves here. Now, you know, normally when two cars are passing through here, they're going very slow. They're going maybe 10, 15 miles per hour. This is nothing. This turn here is nothing. They got them almost practically a U-turn style. So what I wanted to do, I wanted to show you really quickly what this road looks like, how slow you have to drive, and why semi-trucks are not allowed on this road. The only semi-trucks that are going to come up this road, they're smuggling. We'll talk about that later. What happens is they're missing the California checkpoint where the semi-trucks have to go into the border stops. You know, they weigh the truck. It could be overweight, and they also look in the back of the trailer to see what's in there. So anybody who's taking this route, now remember this is Route 66 between Oatman heading towards Kingman. So there's no reason for any rig to be on this road unless you're smuggling.
Weight station, and he's not going through that way station by the California border. He's not going down to the one over there. He's coming up this road, which
he's got experience.
He's sneaking. He knows what he's doing.
He's hauling something he don't want nobody to see.
Right.
Yeah.
So he's missing the California checkpoint.
He's missing the California down here, and he's missing the Arizona one down
and the
here.
Arizona one.
Yep.
And he's coming up through Oatman because there's no checkpoint on this road.
So if you're going to smuggle something in a semi, this is the way you do
This
it.
is where you go.
This
Oh,
is the
my.
way you
And
go.
when I seen that semi, I said, "Oh my God, I can't believe it! That truck."
He's got experience doing this.
Yes, he know what
Oh.
he's doing because he knew the hairpin was there and he was ready
He's a
for it.
professional
I
smuggler,
couldn't believe he made the hairpin.
huh? That's funny.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. I didn't realize they had semi-smugglers through here. See, like over there, that mine over there, like you say, there was metal plates on there now, but when you were a kid, there was
The plates weren't even there.
no. So
There
you
was
get
wooden ladders there.
wooden ladders.
There's wooden ladders. The first 25 foot is the wood was kind of aged,
Uh-huh.
but once you got down there, the wood was preserved.
Wow. Once you got down about a story or so,
Yeah, about a story.
the wood
About
would
a
be
story. The wood was preserved.
wood ladders are preserved.
Three stories down, about a mile-long tunnel goes from there up into this mountain.
So from over there, the tunnel goes into this mountain.
Yep.
And then, of course, over there is where the hole is. And you've rappelled down that hole?
I rappelled down that one.
You've rappelled.
I think we had a 100-foot rope,
Uh-huh.
and I was
How old were you when you did that?
18.
About 18, and you guys just decided to rappel down there. How dangerous was that?
It took 3 guys to pull me back out.
That had to be scary, huh?
Yeah. But
Have you ever heard of any kids dying out here?
Yeah.
The kids die out here.
the Divine Boy died out here.
The Divine Boy, he was.
Pat Cordy lost all his fingers, found a blasting cap down there, and it blew off all his fingers but his thumb.
Oh my. Of course, now these are homestead. This what we're sitting at here this is an old homestead. The miners were all through this area, right?
Oh yeah. We have little settlements in every mine. This is one of the bigger mines. The other big mines down by the township on the outside.
Now, of course, this mine shut down probably for a few years. It was shut down.
Oh, it shut down for a good 50 years.
A good 50 years, and just
Right.
recently it's opened back up.
Well, because the price of gold went up.
Right, when the price of gold.
It skyrocketed, then they reopened this one.
Now, where's most of their operations? Down there,
Right. You see the shacks right down underneath there?
right under the
There's
shacks?
There's another shaft that goes into that mountain right here.
Uh-huh.
That's there's a main vein right here.
There's
It
a
goes
main.
from them shacks all the way up the backside of that mountain right.
So there's a main vein that goes from that
Yeah.
shack down there
That's what they're
all the way through this
right.
mountain ranges, and that's all they're looking for is that vein, right?
That vein.
Follow it.
They follow that vein. I bet that thing's cut all the way down into the earth as far as they can go.
Unbelievable. So once they catch a vein, they'll just follow it back as far as they can.
Like I said, I went down that shaft right there.
Uh-huh.
I went down 25 stories.
25
And I
stories.
had one of those glow lights. You shake, and I dropped it, and it disappeared. Still went down.
You had a glow light and dropped it.
I dropped the glow light. I climbed out with no light.
And of course and of course the wooden ladders are still in good shape in that one over there.
Yeah, the first 25 foot is kind of scary.
Uh-huh.
It's,
And then over there you had to rappel down there with a rope.
I think it's part of that one.
Uh-huh, sure it would be, huh?
Probably one of the air shafts or something.
So the vein, it probably just goes right in line from that shack.
Uh-huh.
The vein goes right in line
Yeah.
there.
And they got another one right over there. It goes up the other side of that big one there.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
So the way you stake a claim out here, and as long as you're taking out a certain amount of dirt per year,
Yeah, I think it was 150 cubic feet or something like that.
as long as you're working the mine,
Working the mine, as long as it's being worked, the soil's being turned, you can keep your claim. You can still find claim stakes all over the place. You have to get off the main road here.
right? And they have to put their stakes in the.
There's stakes with the piece of paper still hooked to the stake.
Do you think these big guys have bought out some of those claims?
Oh, yeah.
He bought them out, some of them. I know the BLM owns all this.
Yeah.
And so let's get a close-up of the shaft that used to be open when he was a kid. The wood ladder goes down 25 stories. This is the opening he was talking about here.